ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मोकं करोति वाचालं पंगुलं लयते गिरिं यत्कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। So very happy that all of you are coming regularly to hear Krishna Katha. How many of you are regular every Sunday? Okay. Missing only 1 or 2 Sundays in a month? 1 or 2 Sundays attending? Okay, before that you were there. Okay, nice. It's always a great opportunity, a great fortune to hear Krishna Katha. It is described that only very, very few fortunate souls get to hear Krishna Katha. Not everyone will get. थोड़े भाग्यशाली लोग ही हैं जिनको मिलेगा कृष्ण कथा. And out of all the residents of this place, few people are sitting in front of me to hear Krishna Katha. It is described about Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukhamukhad amrita drava samyutam pibata bhagavata rasamalayam ahor mamuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukah. So here it is said that if all the Vedic literatures put together, if they're considered as a huge tree, so the very ripened fruit of that tree is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Just imagine a mango fruit. Mango fruit without skin and without seed. कितना मजा आएगा खाने में? No skin outside, no seed inside. Therefore it is said, Pibata Bhagavata. खाने नहीं बोल रहे, पीने बोल रहे. Pibata Bhagavata. So that fruit that is there, you're supposed to drink, not eat. And who is drinking this fruit? Who is relishing this fruit? All the ones who are liberated souls, they are enjoying. So हमारा क्या? What about us? It is described, even we sadhakas, we also get to relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam at our level. Therefore, it is very important to understand the opportunity that we get to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not an ordinary opportunity. Parikshit Maharaj, he had got a curse. You're going to die in 7 days. Parikshit suna hai na? Therefore, it is described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th Canto, that the baby pastimes of Krishna are very, very attractive. All the pastimes are attractive. But Parikshit Maharaj is saying, oh, the baby pastimes of Krishna are very, very attractive. So Parikshit Maharaj, he heard how Krishna appeared in Mathura jail, how Krishna was transferred from Mathura to Gokul Mahavan, how Krishna killed Putana when he was just 6 days young. After that, what happened? is the question. So when Shukadeva Goswami ended the Putana Katha, after that Parikshit Maharaj is asking a question. In fact, I would not say question, he is glorifying and he is saying, very nice, there's shloka here. He says that it is very, very wonderful to hear the various pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simply by one's hearing of these activities, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanishes. Simply by hearing, all the dirty things in the heart will get vanished. All the anarthas will be removed. Generally, we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord, but Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to mind and ear. Generally, we don't want to hear about the Lord. We are busy hearing all crap of this world. But Krishna's childhood activities are so wonderful, so amazing, that anyone and everyone will get attracted. Thus, one's attachment for hearing about material things, which is the root cause of material existence, vanishes, and one gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Attachment for Him and friendship with devotees who give us contribution of Krishna consciousness. If you think it fit, kindly speak about those activities of Lord. Parikshit Maharaj tells Shukadeva Goswami that these Krishna Katha or Krishna Leela, they are very, very attractive. And just by discussing that, devotees develop bond amongst themselves. And the best part is that the one who is hearing, his heart is cleansed very nicely. And that person develops attachment to Sri Radha and Krishna. And then last thing he says is, if you feel fit, then you please speak about Krishna's pastimes. And then he continues and he says, please describe other pastimes of Krishna. I want to hear. Because he is scared. अभी शुकदेव गोस्वामी कुछ और कहना ना चालू कर दे. He wants to hear only baby pastimes of Krishna. Please start speaking about Krishna's further baby pastimes. So this was when Krishna was just 3 months. I will not say old because Krishna never becomes old. He is always young. It is described when Lord was there on battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Krishna was speaking Bhagavad Gita. What was the age of the Lord at that time? Any idea? 90, 95. और आगे बोली लगाइए. Yes. हाँ? 125. 125 years. Just imagine 125 years. But देखा है कभी आपने भगवान का फोटो ऐसे white दाढ़ी and white hair and all that? Because it is described very nicely in Brahma Samhita. Nava Yauvanamcha. Krishna is always ever youthful. And therefore his pastimes are also ever youthful. Therefore we never say old, we say young. So Krishna was just 3 months young. And it's so nice. For the first time, till this particular date, Krishna was just finally he is doing the baby pastimes like in any ordinary human boy or human baby. So he was not moving himself. So what was he doing? He was blinking his eyes, moving hands and legs or whatever. He was not turning. Abhi tak karvat nahi badle the wo. So 3rd month. So when 3 months were over, so that one particular day, Krishna turned. And when he turned, that was the sign, oh, okay, baby is all healthy, baby is very nice. Because for everyone in Vrindavan, हमें तो पता है कि वो भगवान है. But for everyone in Vrindavan, for them, he was just darling of Vrindavan. He was not God. He was just the darling of Vrindavan. He was the dearest entity of Vrindavan. No one used to ask anyone about anything else. They would always ask about Krishna. This was a thing that was there throughout Vrindavan. जब कोई पड़ोसी एक दूसरे से बात भी करते थे, they would always ask, पता है आज कृष्णा ने क्या किया? You know what Krishna did? So for us, we have to come Sunday evening, sit like this to hear Krishna Katha. For them, every single talk was Krishna Katha. Everything was centered around Krishna. And like this, everyone used to have Krishna as the first priority in their lives. Therefore, so as soon as Krishna turned, it was a big ceremony that took place. And that ceremony is called as Utthana ceremony. Just uthre ka prayas kar rahe. He just turned. Utthana ceremony. And in this ceremony, what what is taken into consideration is, okay, now the child is healthy, now we can give a proper bath to the child. So Krishna, in this Leela, on this planet, he was given a thorough bath on that particular day. And it is described after this, he can go out. So till now, Krishna was not taken out anywhere. जो कारागृह से निकले और गोकुल में गए, उसके बाद बाहर नहीं निकले. He didn't go out after that. For 3 months he was just there. Now just imagine. He turned and there was a ceremony. Grand ceremony. ऐसा नहीं कि ordinary ceremony. Grand ceremony. He turned and there was a grand ceremony. In fact, in Vedic culture, there is something called as samskaras. There are dasha samskaras. And if you divide that more, it becomes Shodasha samskara, 16 samskaras. So before the child is born, there is a samskara called Garbhadhana samskara. So husband and wife, before uniting, they prepare their consciousness very properly. And with a proper consciousness, they unite with a desire to beget a divine child. इसलिए देखेंगे, in the past, in the Vedic culture, what would happen is, say there's a Kshatriya, a king. King's son would be a king only. You see? Brahmana's son will be a Brahmana only. Rarely someone will become something else. But mostly, Brahmana's son will be a Brahmana, king's son will be a king. How this was happening? Because the husband and wife, they would prepare their consciousness on the spiritual platform, and then they would come together with a desire to beget a child. And then a very divine child is born. After that, there are various other samskaras which have taken place. Even before the child is born, when the lady is pregnant, there's something called a Simantanayan samskar. Baby shower, in English they call it as. Now what is baby showered with on that day? Is a baby shower function. What do you shower the baby with? Blessings. Yes. So in every samskara which is there, what is actually given to the baby and the mother is blessings. Therefore, samskaras are very, very important. Very, very important. And all those people who have gone through these samskaras throughout their life, they are really wonderful souls. They are the ones who actually contribute in some way to the society, in one or the other way. Therefore, here was one such event which was taking place where Krishna turned and there was a huge ceremony that began. Now finally, the Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, they are the king and queen of entire Brajabhumi Sri Vrindavan. Now just imagine, king's place there is a ceremony. Hoga na acha ceremony. It is described when Krishna appeared on the day of Janmashtami, he was transferred. Next day, Nanda Maharaj Yashoda got to know we have got a baby boy. And there was a big ceremony called Nandotsav. And in that Nandotsav, how was the festival? They all were playing Holi. And now this Holi was not with colors. This Holi was with A2 milk, A2 ghee, A2 curd. Yes. Everything first class. And can you imagine, they're throwing butter at each other, throwing ghee at each other, throwing milk at each other. And there were ponds of milk where people were drowning each other in the milk. That was the ceremony. Think about the opulence that was there during that time. अभी तो एकदम कीचड़ में गंदा गंदा पानी लेके क्या गंदा होली. Look at that, and that is called opulence. That is called opulence. So similarly, now there was an event that was taking place. It was a grand ceremony. Many people were invited from all the surrounding place. Many brahmanas were invited. Many people playing musical instruments, they were invited. Entire place was decorated very nicely. And now began a big ceremony. Krishna was given a thorough bath that day. Nice abhishekam was done. And after that, Mother Yashoda, she received various brahmanas at home. I'm not talking about those brahmanas who just wear a 2 rupees thread. I'm talking about qualified brahmanas who know how to chant mantras and maintain purity. आजकल तो क्या बोलते हैं और कोई पता नहीं होता. Swaha. Yes. But you know what? When mantras are chanted, oh, कितना खुश हो रहा है मेरा बच्चा. So when mantras are chanted very fluently with proper pronunciation, that has got a different effect altogether. You can feel that aura. You can feel that spiritual vibration throughout the place when it is done properly. Such Brahmanas were invited. Now see, Brahmanas का ऐसा नहीं होता कि काम कराओ फिर उनको दक्षिणा दो. For Brahmanas, first they are nicely fed, then they are given gifts, and then Brahmanas work. I mean, they start doing their seva because they will not run away. Brahmanas को ऐसे treat किया जाता है. Shudras means पहले काम करो फिर salary मिलेगा. That is Shudras training. Daily wages, salary, etc. That's all Shudra training. Yes. एकदम कंट्रोल में रखा जाता है उनको. आप रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं कि नहीं मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Yes. Yes. So that's how it is. The Brahmanas are first nicely fed, nicely gifted, and then Brahmanas, they started chanting various Vedic hymns. And it's very, very important to note, in every society, Brahmanas are the ones. Brahmanas means the intellectual class, the scholarly class. In Shastra, I'm not talking about mundane education. In Shastra. So they are the ones who guide the entire society. Previously, every king would have a group of Brahmanas. And those Brahmanas would give advice to the king how to rule the kingdom. Therefore, the entire society would be so wonderful, so nice. Because the entire society would be run based on the Vedic principles as given by the Brahmanas. And Brahmanas were on a different platform altogether. वो salary नहीं लेते थे, ना ही कुछ मांगते थे. Whatever comes, they accept. That's it. लेकिन पहले के लोग ऐसे भी नहीं थे कि फटा हुआ नोट देते थे. Yes. They would actually nicely give the nice remuneration to the Brahmanas. So Brahmanas were always self-satisfied. So such Brahmanas are needed in the society. In ISKCON, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada or Pandor Acharya, he made it sure that he should always make this point. We should have first-class Brahmanas in the society. And therefore you see the entire cultivation that happens in ISKCON is Vedic studies, especially teaching Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, various principles, how to live a pure life, how to come to the platform of goodness. These are all Brahmana training that is given. And therefore, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, there are many, many qualified people now guiding the entire society. So in this way, the Brahmanas were there. And these Brahmanas, you see, they work on basis of vision and inspiration. You cannot show them anything. I'll give you bonus, I'll give you a house, this and that. Nothing doing. They'll work only based on the vision and inspiration. Such people are called as Brahmanas. Now these Brahmanas, what they started doing when they were invited, nicely fed, they were all happy, blissful. They started chanting Vedic mantras. Now these Vedic mantras are described in Shastra very nicely. That these Vedic mantras are the ones which will create actual auspiciousness. Without the Vedic mantras chanted, without the holy names chanted, there is no ceremony that becomes complete. You see? But unfortunately, abhi dekhiye, we are so crazy about the Western culture. We are embracing Western culture. Zabardasti embrace kar. And now you see any ceremony that takes place, ekdam aisa upar se superficially ho jata hai. Like for example, marriages. Now people just want to exchange rings and take some photos. That's it, done. We are married. See, marriage is such a big thing. That's called as Vivaha Yagya or Vivaha Samskara. In front of Agni, the male and female they sit, and a qualified Brahmana is doing the Yagya. And you see, everything that is needed for a very good, happy married life, all those mantras are chanted, nice oaths are taken from each other, both husband and wife, and blessings are sought from the higher authorities. And that's how the Vivaha Yagya gets completed. अभी बस अकेले गए साइन कर दिया कहीं रिंग पहना दिया एक दूसरे को marriage done. You see, there is no question of chanting the holy names, there is no question of Vedic mantras, nothing. Therefore it's very important to note अभी at least Vedic mantras ना chant कर पाए, at least Hare Krishna महामंत्र chant करना चाहिए ना. Yes, any ceremony that takes place, at least we should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. How simple this is. Therefore, it is described that as of now, the degradation that is taking place is because we are trying to leave our Vedic culture and try to embrace a foreign culture. बाहर से दिख ही रहा है कि they are miserable in life. दिख रहा है, easily दिख रहा है. But still we are like, no, I want that level of opulence. But one thing is very clear, opulence is not going to bring us satisfaction. I was hearing from some people in the West. They were telling me that taking an appointment of a psychiatrist is a daily job, of a person who is working there. For many people, this is the case. If you tell, I want to meet you or whatever, no, I cannot meet you today, I've got a psychiatrist appointment. No, indirectly, they're saying, I'm actually mad, I'm going to a psychiatrist. I cannot meet you today. There is no question of family bonding. There is no question of family relationship. There is no question of all these different value systems. Therefore, I always say this point. Just by understanding Gita and implementing Gita, we can revive back our Vedic culture. And so wonderful here, when Krishna's Utthana ceremony started, it all started with Vedic mantras, chanting the holy names. In this way, the entire atmosphere was surcharged completely with the Vedic mantras and auspiciousness. Now, a thorough bath was given, and Krishna was very nicely there in front of everyone. Nice Vedic mantras are chanted. He was nicely fed also. Abhi thoda jhapki aane laga Bhagwan. He was yawning, and he was closing his eyes, and Mother Yashoda is seeing him. And when Mother Yashoda was seeing this, so she felt better to put him to sleep. If he's awake, then we'll not be able to take care of all the people who have come. Small, 3 months old baby, you can imagine. So she felt that inside the house, everywhere is hustle and bustle. So many people are there. Itne sare log, itna awaaz ho raha hai. There are so many places where instruments were played, so many places where kirtan was going on. So she decided that let me take him outside the house. In a big courtyard, there was a big cart that was given. Big cart. So she went with the baby, and below the cart, there was a cot-like structure. So she, along with the baby, they both slept there. They lied down. Mothers have this technique. When the baby wants to rest, mothers will also go and rest with them, as if they are also very sleepy. Bacha, so jao, usko sula ke, then mothers will leave. That's what Mother Yashoda was doing. So she was sleeping with Krishna, and then when Krishna was fast asleep, this was very far from Nanda Bhavan. Then she kept Krishna there and she started going to Nanda Bhavan again. But before leaving, she told there were few kids who were playing. 3 years old, 4 years old kids. So she called the kids and she told all the kids, keep a watch on my baby. Mere bachche ko dekhte raho. And she left. Now these kids were not interested in playing. These kids were interested in Krishna. And as soon as it was told that dekhte raho mere bachche ko, they all came and dekhte reh gaye. They all were seeing, all the kids. See, just imagine, any small baby, even of an animal, is so cute, isn't it? Small baby of a human being, so cute. You put all the cuteness together. You take all the cuteness that you can imagine of this world, put all that cuteness together, multiply it by many, many millions of times. That is the cuteness of Krishna. Abhi sochiye, how wonderful it would be. Those kids, so fortunate, they're all sitting there and seeing Krishna. They're all seeing Krishna. So wonderful. In fact, it is described that when Mother Yashoda, when she gave birth, she was very tired. So she was almost unconscious. So next day only, I'm talking about Janmashtami. So next day of Janmashtami, she opened her eyes and then she saw a baby kept. Now, at one point of time, she became confused because she was seeing different parts of the body of the Lord. She looked at the eyes. They were like lotus petals. She looked at the nose. It was like a jasmine flower. She looked at the teeth. They were like other fragrant white flowers. She looked at the nails and the hands. They were like lotus flowers. So she was confused. Is it a baby or is it a bouquet? Is it a flower bouquet or what is that? And then after some time she was looking at the lips of the Lord. Oh, this is like the red bimba fruit. So wonderful. His cheeks were looking like another fruit. And then finally again she was confused. Is this basket of fruits? What is this? She was not able to understand for a long time. And when Krishna started crying, then she understood, oh, he's my baby. Now just imagine, this is the cuteness of the Lord. This is the beauty of the Lord. Unfortunately, we are not able to get attracted to the beauty of the Lord. You know why? There's a very nice shloka from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Prahlad Maharaj is telling to his demonic teachers. Demonic teachers are asking, ये कहाँ से सीखा तूने भक्ति शक्ति सब? So at that time Prahlad Maharaj is saying, यथा भ्रमयति अयो ब्रह्मन् स्वयं आकर्ष सन्निधो तथा में विद्यते चेतस चक्रपाणे नेत्रिच्छे. So at that time Prahlad Maharaj is saying that when there are iron filings kept, उसके ऊपर से चुंबक ले जाओ, that is magnet. What will happen? Iron filings will get attracted. Yes. But now, if the iron filings are rusted, if there's a rust on that, and you move the magnet, will the iron filings get attracted? No. So as of now, one thing is very clear: magnet में problem नहीं है, problem है iron filings. Correct? तो magnet में problem नहीं है. Krishna is the magnet. There's no problem in him. Problem is in the iron filings. Those iron filings are rusted, so they're not getting attracted. And we iron filings are lusted, so we are not getting attracted. We have anartha of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion. And because of that, we are not feeling the attraction towards the beauty of the Lord. But these kids, they are so attracted to sitting there and watching Krishna. And Krishna was sleeping. And we have seen when babies are sleeping, they are even more cute. And here Krishna was sleeping and they are relishing Krishna's beauty. So Mother Yashoda went very safely. She went, he's sleeping. Mother Yashoda went. And now when Mother Yashoda went, so at that time, she was busy in all the celebration that was going on. So many relatives were coming, so many other people were coming. She was receiving them. Brahmanas were coming, she was receiving them, taking care of them nicely, feeding them nicely, giving gifts. A lot of instruments are getting played. Entire Nanda Bhavan was full of wonderful music, wonderful songs. And everywhere it was ceremony that was going on, celebration that was going on. And there, under the cart, Krishna got up and he started crying. Maybe he was hungry for milk, maybe. He started crying. Now what were the kids told to do? बच्चों को क्या कहा था? Yes. Watch him. So what they were doing? They were watching. Baby is crying and they were told you have to keep a watch on him. So they were all sitting and watching him. He's crying and they're watching. They're not going and informing Mother Yashoda. So in this way, he was crying and that crying sound was not reaching Nanda Bhavan. Because there was so much of ceremonious atmosphere, so much of sound that Mother Yashoda was not able to hear. But other days, even if Krishna makes a slight sound, immediately she will come to Krishna, feed him milk. But abhi kya kare, wo to dur rakh ke aayi kahin. In some courtyard she has kept under a cart. And she is somewhere inside a ceremony there. And she is not able to hear at all. So now when Krishna, when he was crying, so at that time, Krishna started thinking, you're not able to hear my cry. So I'll do something. I'll make such a noise that all the ceremony should stop and he should come here. Krishna started moving his feet. And who is watching all this? All the children. All the fortunate children, they're watching all this. Krishna started moving his legs. Now he's just 3 months baby. Now imagine, I'm sure all the ones who are married and having kids. So when the kids are small, just few months, their hands and legs are so soft, isn't it? So very soft, very pinkish, soft. Now imagine Krishna's body. When he's in his youth, that time itself his entire body is soft, like a butter. Now when he's a small baby, imagine about the softness that was there. And Shukadeva Goswami says that it was like the entire softness of his hands and feet were like that of freshly grown leaves, as soft as leaves. So in this way, he started moving his hands and legs. And while moving the hands and legs, his one of the foot touched the cart. Now the question comes, cart to bada hoga na? How did the baby touch the cart? I had this question from a long time. Then when I started reading Shastra from Brahmanda Puran, there's a quote which says that Kamsa had sent an asur, a demon. He was a ghost. And normally ghosts, they take shelter of some substance, some gross substance. So this asur, a ghost, he entered this shakat or this cart. And therefore he was called as Sakatasura. He entered that cart. So as soon as this asur entered that cart, so cart came down a little bit because it became heavy more and it came down a little bit. So the wheels went a little bit into the ground. And now the below part of the cart and Krishna, there was little distance that was there between the two. And a lot of things were kept on the cart. A lot of metal vessels were there, gold vessels, silver vessels, filled with ghee, milk, etc. Now when Krishna lifted his leg, because he had two things to do now. First, he wanted to seek attention of his mother. मतलब पूरा ceremony मेरे लिए चल रहा है और मुझे यहाँ कोने में रख के आप लोग ceremony कर रहे हैं. Give me attention first. And second thing that he wanted to do was, he understood that there is an asur who has entered here. So, something I should do now to kill him. Then he started moving his legs and his soft leg touched the cart. And the entire cart toppled. And all that was kept on the cart, that all went down everywhere. And all the contents of the pots, it all spilled here and there. Just imagine, in the parking lot there's a big truck. And suddenly, with no reason, the entire truck becomes toppled. Going up like a South Indian movie and then coming down. Think about that entire scene. How much sound it will make. And when this sound came, so at that time, the ceremony stopped. Almost it was like a pause button or a stop button. And they all heard the sound and they all started coming out. Now one point which I want you all to focus on is, Krishna ने अपने size को नहीं बढ़ाया. He was same 3 months baby. And he just moved his leg. And the entire cart toppled. How is this possible? Very difficult for people to understand. Sometimes, some bogus gurus, they say, chant this mantra in 6 months, you'll become God. You cannot become God. God is always God. You cannot become Bhagavan. Never. Bhagavan is always Bhagavan. It doesn't matter. He's 6 days killing Putana. At that time also he didn't increase his size. And now in 3 months, as a 3 months baby, he's not increasing his size. But still he has the power to topple the entire cart. Very, very important. Therefore, it's very important to note that he is our supreme Lord and he can do anything. He can do anything. Tell me another example which is very, very astonishing, where Krishna's strength is seen. Yes, Mata is saying like this. Govardhan Lila? Yes. Can you imagine 7 days, 7 nights? 7-year-old boy standing like this, holding a mountain. And not just holding the mountain, on the other hand, he was playing the flute also. अभी ऐसे नहीं कि पसीना पहुंच रहे और बोल रहा अरे मैं थक रहा हूं आप लोग थोड़ा लकड़ी से पकड़िए. Nothing doing, he's standing like आराम से. He's playing flute also. For 7 days, 7 nights, Krishna had no problem. But Mother Yashoda had a problem. Mother Yashoda had a real problem that every day I feed my son. You know how many times? 8 times. Mother Yashoda would feed Krishna 8 times a day. And now for 7 days, Krishna is not eating anything. So Mother Yashoda is really getting angry on Govardhan. And it is described her anger was so great. She was looking at Govardhan at one point of time. So Krishna is standing like this, Govardhan is here. So at one point of time, Govardhan became fearful and he went up. And Krishna nahi upar nahi ja sakta. So it's so nice. Therefore, after 7 days, Mother Yashoda said, 7 दिन तूने उपवास किया है, तो आज मैं भोग लगाऊंगी. So she calculated. 7 into 8, how much? 56, 56. Therefore, she offered 56 bhog on that day. You see? This is Mother Yashoda's love for Krishna. But look at Krishna's strength. For 7 days and 7 nights he's holding. Therefore, one thing is very clear, that we are always Anu and Lord is always Vibhu. या फिर simple language में बोलूं, the Lord is very big, he is infinite, and we are Chutku. Tell me, can a drop of ocean become an ocean? Never. Drop of ocean is a drop, and ocean is ocean. Therefore, one thing that we need to always understand is we cannot become God, but we can always become God's apostrophe S. We can belong to Him, but we cannot become Him. Very, very important. And this Leela is very clear. Very, very clear. Therefore, when he lifted his leg, the entire cart toppled. There's so much of noise that was there. And now the description says, when the cart toppled, the wheels came out, the axle came out, the entire structure, it broke. Just one touch, and the entire cart was in this situation. Therefore, this is a very nice thing which Prabhupada is saying in the purport. He says, if Krishna was an ordinary child, he would have got hurted in different ways. He would have got injured in different ways. But look at the Supreme Lord in the baby form. Look at the Supreme Lord in the baby form. By kicking the cart, he was smiling and enjoying. He was not crying. He was not feeling pain or injured or whatever. No. He was enjoying. This is the glory of Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. This is the glory. So therefore, in this way, Shukadeva Goswami goes on to describe that when Mother Yashoda heard all this sound, she came out. And when she came out, she saw this entire situation. Now, everyone was wonderstruck, ye hua kaisa? There was no one around. How did this entire truck, entire cart toppled like this? That too broken into different parts. How did this happen? So they all elders, they came and they started talking to each other. शायद कोई बुरी आत्मा आई थी या फिर किसी ग्रह का प्रकोप था. And all of them discussing like this. And they're all completely wonderstruck. They're asking each other, किसी को पता नहीं क्या हुआ. But at that time, someone had seen all this with their own eyes. Who were they? All the children who were there were watching like this. They saw the entire movie with their own eyes, live. And all of them, they went there. And when the elders were talking, the kids said, hame pata hai, we know what happened. And the elders said, what happened? How did this cart topple? At that time, the kids started saying, ye bachcha hai na, ye chota bachcha, this small boy, he started crying. और ऐसे से पैर हिलाने लगा वो. और उसका पैर टच हुआ कार्ट पे. His leg touched the cart and the entire cart toppled and broke. भाई बच्चों ने देखा था कि नहीं ये सब होते हुए? They had seen. But all the elders started saying, oh, whom did we ask? We don't have intelligence that we are going and asking kids. So I was just wondering, a very, very important point on this subject matter. Kids had seen the truth and they were telling the truth, but people were not accepting the truth. Yes, many times the great souls were enlightened. The great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, when they speak and when they are telling from Shastra, many of the times people like us who have not seen the truth, we say, no, we don't believe all this. We believe in science, which again we have not seen. It is so nonsensical, you see. We say that we are scientific, you prove it to us and all that. But none of the time anyone has gone to cross-check if E equal to MC square is really true. We have accepted. Whatever Einstein said, we accepted. And if you ask, why did you accept that theory? What do people say? Einstein ne bola. Newton ne bola. Similarly, when people ask us that where did you hear all these things from? Who told this? We should say, Prabhupada ji ne bola. Madhvacharya ne bola. Shankaracharya ne bola. Yes? So for you, if these scientists are the authorities, for us, these enlightened souls are the authorities. And their words are final for us. Therefore, it's very important to note that whenever these great authorities speak, we shouldn't doubt. Provided you know they are the authority. If you don't know they are not authority, then there's no question of hearing them. But if you know, yes, they are the authorities, like Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, and our acharyas in the parampara, like Prabhupada, all of them are great souls. And if anyone reads their life sketch, it's all full of purity, full of mystical power, and full of devotion. And one can easily make out that they cannot be ordinary personalities for sure. Cannot be ordinary personalities for sure. But the problem is we don't get to hear about them. Therefore, to keep faith on their words becomes very difficult. Therefore, we should hear more about them, then we can have faith on them. And here we see very nicely, all these kids who are like small acharyas, they were telling, हमने देखा है आंखों से. And the elder one was saying, नहीं नहीं फालतू कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं, मुंह बंद करो. हमारे में बुद्धि नहीं है कि हम बच्चों को पूछ रहे हैं. So when the cart was toppled, the thing that took place was Sakatasura was killed. Sakatasura was killed. Now just think about another point. There are so many great yogis, great sadhus. They want to meditate on Krishna's lotus feet. We all devotees talk about meditating on Krishna's lotus feet. Holding the lotus feet in the heart. This is what we talk about. And can you imagine, Sakatasura was so fortunate. He got direct kick of the lotus feet. Direct sparsha, direct touch of the lotus feet. So wonderful, so amazing. This is called the mercy of the Lord. So as soon as the Asura came, Krishna saw, okay, he's approaching me. He has come to Vrindavan. And I have taken a vow. Yad gatvana nivartante. Anyone who comes to this abode cannot go back anywhere. You have to go to Golok only. And in this way, Krishna delivered Sakatasura like he delivered Putana as well. Now here it is described that when all these things happened, so finally Mother Yashoda took the child, she started feeding the child, and Krishna started sucking the milk. And Mother Yashoda was very pleased, very happy. Okay, baby is fine, he's healthy, nothing has happened to the child. Now others who were there, all stout men, they went and they made the entire cart straight and put everything back on the cart and so on and so forth. So I was just thinking, so many stout, strong people were needed. Good numbers. They were needed to put the cart back. And our Krishna with his small feet, small foot, I would say 1 foot, he just pushed the cart and everything got toppled. Therefore, when we hear more about Krishna Leela, one thing will become very clear is how great our Lord is. See, we can always follow great personalities. We cannot follow ordinary personalities of this world. Yes? In this world also, all the ones who are great, whom we consider great, the celebrities, the sports people, etc., sport politicians or whatever, they all have power or whatever. So we try to follow them because we feel, oh, they're extraordinary as compared to me. Similarly, when we hear more and more about the Lord, and then when we understand His extraordinariness, then we can actually follow Him. How much time it took for Krishna to speak the entire Bhagavad Gita? Yes, 45 minutes. Yes, approx 45 minutes to 1 hour. Can you imagine? To understand this Gita, we spend entire life. और कभी-कभी फिर भी समझ नहीं आता. And Krishna spoke the entire thing in 45 minutes. He lifted Govardhan. He was the one who attracted even Kamadev. Now just imagine how great this personality is. Therefore, as soon as we hear more and more about the Lord, the first thing that will take place is we'll start developing attraction towards Krishna. Rukmini Devi, she had never seen Krishna. Like us, many times people say, हमने तो भगवान को देखा नहीं. Same pinch, मैंने भी नहीं देखा. Same pinch. But you know what? Rukmini had also never seen Krishna. But Rukmini always heard about Krishna's glories. Because great saints like Narada Muni would come to Rukmini's palace. And there they would speak about Krishna's glories. And just by hearing Krishna's glories, Rukmini developed attraction towards Krishna. To such an extent, she wrote a letter to Krishna, please come and kidnap me. मैं कलयुग की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. जैसा WhatsApp कर दिया, अभी मम्मी पापा चले गए, आजा मुझे किडनैप करके चल. Let's go. I'm not talking about कलयुग. I'm talking about द्वापर युग. ऐसे कौन सी लड़की लिख सकती है ऐसा लेटर कि मुझे किडनैप कर लो आके? If someone is writing, it means really she is possessive about that person. And she has never seen the person. How did she become so attracted, so much possessive about Krishna? And the answer is Shravanam, just by hearing. Therefore, every Sunday evening when we're coming together like this and hearing from Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you know what is happening? Two-pronged effect. One, cleansing of the heart is happening. And second thing that is taking place is, we are slowly and steadily getting attracted towards Krishna. अरे मरने से पहले तो अच्छे से अट्रैक्शन डेवलप होना चाहिए. सोचिए मरते टाइम कुत्ते को याद कर रहे, बिल्ली को याद कर रहे. What will be our next life? कुत्ता बिल्ली होगा और क्या? We're remembering some relative, we're remembering some movie star. What will happen? Movie star तो पक्का बनेंगे नहीं हम. वो होता है ना ऐसे डुप्लीकेट होते हैं, देखिए हम डुप्लीकेट will become someone like that. Therefore, at least before leaving the body, one has to develop an intense devotion. And that is possible when every day when we consistently practice devotional service. और पता है भक्ति करने के बीच में what is an obstacle that comes? The obstacle is our ego. Our ego does not allow us to accept the statements of Bhagavad Gita. It doesn't allow us to accept the facts given in the Vedic scriptures. Therefore, we should pray to Krishna that, oh Krishna, the way you kicked the cart and the cart broke, similarly, oh Lord, please kick this ego that I have. And please break this ego so that one day I'll become a surrendered devotee onto your lotus feet. And those people who are devotees, completely surrendered to Krishna, always, like those Vrajavasis, always thinking about Krishna, if we come to that platform, our life will be very blissful. We'll be fearless, we'll be completely satisfied. This is the key that is given to all of us in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, in 10th Canto through Krishna Lila. That just by Shravanam, we'll advance in Bhakti, and once we advance in Bhakti and attain that stage of surrender, naturally, rest of the things will fall in place. And we will attain that blissful state. And guess what? Other people will come and ask you, "ये तो हमेशा इतना खुश कैसा रहता है? How come you're so blissful? Even when you're going through such critical situation in life, you're still so blissful and stable? Batana, what is that secret? What is that key that you have?" And at that time you can say, Sunday evening, 5:30, clubhouse. Please come and experience it yourself. We can speak a lot, but till we don't experience, we'll not be able to have complete faith. Therefore, I always say, consistency in spiritual practice is very, very important. And in this pastime, Krishna has proved it very, very nicely that for him, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. Even an asura like Sakatasura was delivered, who came to kill Krishna. Putana was delivered, who came to kill Krishna. Today morning I was speaking about Aghasur. Aghasur had come to kill Krishna, but for Krishna nothing is impossible. He delivered all those sinful people. Therefore, one of our Acharya, he sings, Asura sakala pailo charan vinoda thakilo bosi. Oh Lord, you delivered all the demons, but you forgot one. Please deliver me also. So this is the prayer that we can have. And we can every time pray to Krishna that only you can save me because I am stuck. Only by your mercy I can advance in bhakti. And it's only you who can actually help me to attain your lotus feet. With this prayer, we can keep practicing bhakti and one day reach that ultimate stage which even Sakatasura attained just by coming to Vrindavan to kill Krishna. Thank you very much. Granthran Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki